Good morning, students. So, in last class, we have discussed that is the ctenophores, where these are having a comb-like pores, comb-like bearing organisms. So, we can call them as ctenophores, or otherwise they are called as anidarians, where here the stinging cells are absenting. Due to the absence of the stinging cells, they are called them as anidarians. And also having an important character, that is coloplast cells, adhesive, specialized adhesive cells called them as lasso cells, where it is one of the unique feature. And also photocytes are presenting, that is photocells are presenting, where they emit light in the form of bioluminescence organism. It is also one of the character of the ctenophores. And also locomotion is taken place by the 8 meridional rows of ciliated tracts called as the comb jellies or comb plates. So, due to the presence of comb plates, these are called them as comb jellies. So, here we have studied these are the various general characters, and also having a nervous system. Here subepidermal and flux is presenting 8 meridional rows of the ciliated tracts of nervous tracts are presenting, where in the center we will having the statocyst, which helpful for the an equilibrium. So, here these are and also the reproduction, they are monoecious or bisexual or hermaphrodite, where in the one organism will consist of both male and female, and the fertilization is external fertilization, and development is an indirect development, where it shows a sin-dipped larval stages, and also here shows regeneration and pediogenesis. That means, what is the pediogenesis? Means sexually reproducing organisms, sexually reproduced matured larvae are called as a pediogenesis, where here will having the pediogenesis without fertilization. These are producers. That means sexually reproduced matured larva without fertilization. This process is called as the pedio means child, genesis means produce. That means producing of the child from where, from matured larva it is developed without fertilization. This is called as, this process we can call them as a pediogenesis. So, these are the two classes, that is the two phylums where they are discussed in radiators. In radiator, that means having a radial symmetry is taken place. In this we will having two phylums, that is one is the coelentrates and second one is ctenophores. Next, coming to the next one, that is bilateria. So, here bilateria means these are the eumetazoans. These are the eumetazoans, where here it shows these are the eumetazoans. It shows the bilateral asymmetry. Here it shows a bilateral asymmetry. So, this type of organisms are called as bilaterals. That means, if the organism, what is bilateral symmetry means? When you cut the organism in only one vertical plane, in only one vertical plane. For example, if you take this is an organism, so when you cut the organism in only one vertical plane, here we are able to produce two identical hulls are producing, then it is called as a bilateral organisms. So, here in this bilateral will show, that means showing these are the eumetazoans and shows bilateral symmetry, and also here based on the body cavity, here the bilaterals are classified are classified into three types. These are classified into three types, such as the acoelomates and pseudocoelomates and last one is eucoelomates. So here, based on the presence of the body cavity in between the body wall and alimentary canal, we can call that as a body cavity. So here body cavity is absenting, we can call them as acoelomates. Already we have discussed in the general characters. So here pseudocoelomate means it look like the cavity, but cavity is absenting but look like the cavity. So it is not surrounded by the mesodermic, that is not surrounded by epithelium, that is endothelium. Sorry, not endothelium, mesodermic epithelium, it is not lined by that. So we can call them as pseudocoelomates. And eucoelomates, a true cavity is presenting between body wall and alimentary canal. So this type of organisms are called as an eucoelomates. So here between the body wall, so here based on these and eucoelomates, here it includes only one phylum. In acoelomates, it includes one phylum, one phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. And the second one, pseudocoelomates, here includes also, it is also includes one phylum, that is we can call them as one phylum, that is we can take in place as an Ascihelminthes. And eucoelomates will having it includes from Annelida, arthropoda, and also here eucoelomates, it includes the Annelida, arthropoda, the mollusca from to chordates. Here it includes from Annelida to the chordates. Here will having the eucoelomates. So here now we will discuss that is an first phylum, that is in Bilateria, will having the first phylum, that is an eucoelomates, that are acoelomates. Acoelomates means here a body cavity is absenting between the body wall and an alimentary canal, and also in a bilatery, these are a bilatery. Bilateral means when you cut the organism in only one vertical plane, we are getting two identical halls. And here example we can take in place a Platyhelminthes, and here it is bilateral is absent in an echinodermata and a few molluscans. Here we can now will discuss one by one. And acoelomates. So here in acoelomates it includes it consists of a bilateral organisms where body cavity, the body cavity is absent, in between body wall, between body wall and alimentary canal, and the alimentary canal. So such type are called as an acoelomates. So here acoelomates, here it consists of a bilateria. Bilateria means when you cut the organism in only one vertical plane, we are getting two identical halves, and these are acoelomates. Acoelomates means A means absenting, coelom means body cavity. Body cavity is absenting in between the body wall and an alimentary canal, then we can call them as an acoelomates. So in this acoelomates, here includes one phylum. Here includes one phylum. That phylum is called as the Platyhelminthes. It includes only one phylum. That phylum, one phylum, we can call them as a Platyhelminthes. So here, what are these Platyhelminthes means? Here it shows platy means flat. Platy means flat. Helminthes means worms. So these are the flat worms, or these are the flat worms. These are the flat worms are dorsoventrally flattened organism. For dorsoventrally flattened are a leaf-like organism, leaf-like and organisms are called them as, or leaf-like organisms justify the name a Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. That means why this name we can call as a Platyhelminthes. This platy means flat worms. These are flat worms. That means if you see in the leaf, ಎಲೆ ನೋಡಿದಂದ್ರೆ, when you see in the leaf, here it look like dorsally as well as ventrally, it look like a flat. Likewise here these organisms are very flat in structure, that is dorsally and ventrally they are compressed and they are look like the leaf-like structure, leaf-like organisms. So they are justify the name as a Platyhelminthes. And these Platyhelminthes which are presenting, these are mainly free living. These are present in freshwater forms, freshwater like planaria, and also the marine forms like convoluta, and also the moist sands, and also moist soil, moist place, that is a bipallium, and also and few are parasites. So few are parasites like if you see in a liver fluke and flatworms. So these are an example where here these are various forms. They are present in freshwater forms, and some are marine water forms, and some are present in the moist places, and also some will be present in a parasitic form. In the form of parasitic means they are present on the depending on the host and organism. So due to this here we can call them as a parasitic an organism. Very few of them will show the parasitic in nature. And here if you see these are free living, free swimming organisms. These are free swimming and organisms, where here it shows these bipalium, where most of them are free living and a few of them are shows a parasitic in nature. Most of them are here. Most of them are free living. Most of them are free living, and few will shows and few are parasites. So here example liver fluke and flood forms, and most of them are free living forms. Next, coming to the that is grade of organization. The grade of an organization. Grade of organization. So here will shows that the grade of an organization will shows that the grade of an organization. A grade of an organization. So here which grade of organization is taken place means organs are, this is the first phylum. It is the first phylum. It is the first phylum consists of organs. Organs means all the tissues are combined together to form organs, and organs will perform a specific functions. So such type of is called as organ grade of an organization. So here we will have in first phylum will shows organs where it is called organ system or organ grade of organ system grade of organ system a grade of organ system of organ grade, sorry, here it shows the organ grade of organization, organ system organization. So here it shows it is the first organ where it forms the organs. So here organs performs the specific functions. So this type of system is called as organ system organizations. Next, coming to the that is asymmetry. Coming to the next one, that is so coming to the next one, asymmetry. So here it shows the symmetry is a bilateral asymmetry. Here the platyhelminthes will shows a bilateral asymmetry when you cut the organism in only one vertical plane, getting off two identical hulls are producing, then we can call as a bilateral asymmetry. And next, coming to the body coverings. Body covering. So here body coverings in free living organisms, in free living organisms, and free living organisms, free living organisms, it consists of single layer of epidermis, single layer of an epidermis. But in parasitic forms, but in a parasitic forms. But in parasitic forms, it consists of a cuticle. It consists of cuticle above the epidermis. Above the epidermis. That means cuticle means a thick layer of epidermis is presenting. That thick layer we can call that as a cuticle. That means your cuticle means a waxy coated layer. Otherwise, here a thick layer of epidermis we can call as thick layer of epidermis. Above the epidermis will having a thick layer is presenting. That thick layer we can call as an cuticle, where they are present in parasitic forms. Why means here parasitic, here they fight against, that means here the antibodies. And the parasites are entered, so here harmful germs are entered, they fight. So to prevent from escaping from the host organism, here they makes around the body they make a thick waxy coated or thick layer of epidermis is formation. So that is called as a cuticle. Next, coming to that is a body wall. Sorry. It is a body wall. So here a body wall will show that here these are in Platyhelminthes. In Platyhelminthes body wall, in the Platyhelminthes it consists of three germ layers. So here it is a germ layers that is called as a triploblastic organisms. They are a triploblastic organisms where we'll having a three germ layers are presenting, such as outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm. So here we will having a three germ layers. That means in between outer ectoderm and inner endoderm will having a middle mesoderm is presenting, which consists of a mesenchyme or a parenchyme it is presenting. So you will having a three germ layers are presenting. Due to the presence of the three germ layers, here we can call them as a triploblastic organisms. We can call them as a triploblastic organisms. Next, coming to the body cavity. A cavity. So here body cavity in a Platyhelminthes it shows an acoelomates in a Platyhelminthes. In a Platyhelminthes, here Platyhelminthes body cavity is absent. Body cavity is absent. So due to this, here we can call them as these are called as these are called as and these are due to this these are called as acoelomates. We can call them as acoelomates, where will here the body cavity in between the body wall, that means between the body wall and alimentary canal. Here a cavity is absenting due to the absence of the cavity. Due to the absence of the cavity, here these organisms, that means Platyhelminthes, are called as the acoelomates. So due to the presence of the cavity, here it includes only a one phylum, that is a Platyhelminthes. Already we have discussed. And next, coming to the digestive system, a digestive system. Here a digestive system, here it shows in Platyhelminthes, a Platyhelminthes, it shows an incomplete a digestive system, incomplete digestive system where anus is absent, where anus is absent, and ingestion and digestion is taken place. Ingestion and egestion and digestion is taken place through the mouth. That means here incomplete digestive system, where here only one opening is presenting. If the organism consists of only one opening, then we can call them as an incomplete digestive system, where example we can take in place as a Platyhelminthes, only one opening, that is here taking of food materials or living of food materials. The taking and living of food materials are taken place through the one tube only, that is through the one opening only. The taking of food material, that is ingestion, and the living of food materials, that is taken place by egestion. Living of waste materials, that is egestion, is taken place through the one opening only. Then one opening, it is called as the mouth. So here it shows in a Platyhelminthes, here it shows an incomplete digestive system, it is taken place. So here ingestion and digestion both will be taken place through the mouth only. Here anus is absenting, so due to this it is called as an incomplete digestive system. So this is where it is taken place in a digestive system of Platyhelminthes. Next, coming to the respiratory system. So here a digestive system will shows here an incomplete digestive system wherein a free living forms, and in a parasitic it is taken place by the diffused method. In a parasitic forms, here it shows the food is absorbed through the general body surface. In parasitic forms, it shows the diffuse, that means in parasitic forms the food is absorbed, the food is absorbed by the diffusion process, but in a free living forms like planarias and liver floc, here it shows that an incomplete digestive system, but in a parasitic forms the food is absorbed by the diffusion process. Next, coming to the respiratory system. The respiratory respiratory system. So here in free living forms, here it is taken place in free living forms. Here the respiratory system is not complete. That means the respiratory system is not developed, but in free respiratory system, respiratory system is not developed, is not developed, but in free living forms, but in free living forms, but free living forms, it is taken place by, in free living forms, it is taken place by through general body surface, by the diffusion, by the process of and diffusion. That means it is taken place through the general body surface. It is taken place the respiration, but respiration system is not be well developed. But here what happens in the free living forms, it shows general body surface by the process of diffusion, the exchange of gases are taken place. But in parasitic forms, parasitic forms, it shows an anaerobic respiration. It shows an anaerobic respiration. Already we know that anaerobic respiration means here the exchanging of oxygen, that means taking of oxygen or exchanging of materials is taken place in the absence of an oxygen. That means respiration, oxidation of food is taken place in the absence of an oxygen, it is taken place. So this process we can call that as the anaerobic respiration. So here respiration is taken place in the absence of an oxygen is taken place wherein a parasitic forms, but in a free living forms it is taken place through general body surface by the process of a diffusion. This is taken place. Next, if we sum here, then excretory system, excretory system. So here excretory system in Platyhelminthes, the excretory organs are the excretory organs are the flame cells. Flame cells, or otherwise we can call them as solenocytes. That means the excretory organs in the Platyhelminthes are called them as flame cells. These are the flame cells or the excretory organs, or otherwise we can call them as the solenocytes, where they excrete the waste materials. So here the excretory organs in Platyhelminthes are the flame cells or solenocytes. From these what happens is it consists of they excrete the waste materials through an excretory canal, but through the excretory canal they are sent outside through an excretory pore. They send outside the waste materials from our body. That means here the solenocytes, it consists of excretory canals, and excretory canals collects. It consists of excretory canals and collects the waste materials, through an excretory pore. through the an excretory pore. Here the waste materials are through the excretory pore. These are send outside of the body. So through the excretory canals, they collect the waste materials through an excretory canal, and here you are having excretory pore is presenting. So through an excretory pore, they eliminate the waste materials through the excretory pore. They eliminate the waste material outside of the body. So this type of process we can call as an excretory system, where here these are excretory organs are the phloem cells, or we can call them as the solenocytes. These consist of excretory canal. These collects the excretory canal will collect the waste materials through the excretory pore. These are sent outside of the body. So here that means here will having the excretory canals will having excretory organs are the phloem cells, or we can call as them as the solenocytes, or otherwise we can use the word as a protonephridia also. We can use the word as a protonephridia. We can call them as the protonephridia. Protonephridia means pro means first formed kidneys. Nephridia means kidneys. Here first formed kidneys which are not well developed. They are a primitive type of kidneys which are formed. We can call them as a protonephridia, or otherwise we can call them as phloem cells, or the solenocytes which are present in Platyhelminthes. Through the excretory canal, they are collected the waste material. Through the excretory pore, they are sent outside of the body. Next, coming to the nervous system. A nervous system. So here in these Platyhelminthes, when compared to the coelentrates, it is advanced. It is an advanced type of a nervous system is presenting when compared to the coelentrates in Platyhelminthes. It is in coelentrates into here when compared to the coelentrates, here it is advanced in advanced type in Platyhelminthes. In Platyhelminthes. So here we'll having the Platyhelminthes will having the more advanced when compared to the coelentrates, where here it consists of a ladder type of a nervous system. Here we'll having the ladder type of a nervous system is presenting. What is that? The ladder type of nervous system means here will consist of an anterior the narrow ganglions. Here anterior will having a narrow ganglions. From the narrow ganglions, here it arises two ventral narrow cords are arises. Two ventral narrow cords are arises from these. That means two ventral lateral narrow cords are arising. From the two ventral narrow cords will arises a transverse nerves are arising. So it appears as the ladder type of a nervous system. Will having the ladder type of a nervous system. How is it taken place? Now will be discussed. So here we'll be having ladder type of a nervous system, where it is having the anterior neuroganglions. The anterior, these are the anterior neuroganglions. This is an anterior neuroganglions. Neuroganglion. So here what is a ganglion means? A group of nerves. A group of nerves are called as a ganglion. From these anterior neuroganglions will enters the ventral longitudinal. It arises two longitudinal neurocords. Two longitudinal neurocords. From the two longitudinal neurocords will arises a transverse nerves. These are longitudinal neurocords. And these are transverse neurocords. So here it appears as a ladder type of a nervous system. It is presenting where from the anterior neuroganglions will arises two ventral longitudinal neuroganglions, and from the two neurocords and it arises the transverse neurocords are arises where it is appears as a ladder, a type of a nerve, a ganglion. So here you will having it consists of ladder type where here we will having the anterior neuroganglions, anterior neuroganglions, ganglion from and ganglion arises from two ventral longitudinal ganglions and arises transverse and arises transverse ganglions or nerves, transverse nerves, where it appears as a ladder type of a nervous system, where here from anterior it enters two ventral longitudinal neuroganglions. From this will arises the transverse ganglions are arises. So this type of system it appears as a ladder. So this type of system is called as a ladder type. That means in Platyhelminthes, which type of nervous system means here will consist of a ladder type of a nervous system is presenting. And coming to the last one, that is we can call them as a reproduction. So here coming to the last one, that is a reproduction. Here reproduction means here reproduction in a Platyhelminthes, in Platyhelminthes, here it is in Platyhelminthes, these are a bisexual or hermaphrodites, or otherwise we can call them as the monoecious also. Here we can call them as the monoecious. We can call them as the monoecious, where bisexual will having the both male and female organisms are presenting within the same organism, or hermaphrodites means here we will having the male and female, we can call them as hermaphrodites. They are presenting within the same organisms. So here the fertilization is an internal fertilization. The fertilization is internal, the fertilization is internal, and the development may be a direct or indirect. The development may be a direct or indirect. So here indirect shows several larval forms, larval stages. Several larval stages in a liver fluke. In a liver fluke. And also here it shows several larval stages are taken place in the larval stages in the form of a liver fluke. Here indirect means it shows several larval stages. Directly means directly gives young ones. But here fertilization is an internal fertilization is taken place, and these are a bisexual organism with both male and female gametes are presenting within the same organisms. Next, coming to a classification of Platyhelminthes. The classification of Platyhelminthes. The classification of Platyhelminthes, where here the Platyhelminthes is classified into 3 classes. It is classified into 3 classes. First one is called as Turbellaria. The first one is Turbellaria. Second one is Trematoda, and the third one is Cestoda. So these are the 3 classes where they are presenting in the phylum Platyhelminthes. One is Turbellaria, Trematoda, and Cestoda. So here it shows these are based on the presence of the freeness and the parasitic nature. These are classified. So here Turbellaria, these are all are free forms. These are free living forms. So that free living forms, example here we can take in place as the Planaria and Bipallium. The Planaria and Bipallium are an example of Turbellaria, where it shows free living forms. And Trematoda, here it shows the parasitic either ecto or endoparasites. Either it may be an ectoparasites or an endoparasites. Example here we can take in place as the Fasciola hepatica, that is we can call as a liver fluke, and Schizostomata, where we can call that as a blood fluke. Schizostomata, where here we can call them as that means here the Fasciola hepatica is the scientific name of liver fluke, and the blood fluke scientific name is Schizostomata, where these are either maybe an ectoparasites or an endoparasites. And last one is the Cestoda. These are completely endoparasites. They are completely an endoparasites. Example Tinea solium. Here example is the Tinea solium. So these are the three classes where we can call them as that is three classes where they are present. That is Tinea solium, or otherwise you can call as a tapeworm or the tapeworms. Here we can call them as the tapeworm. So here the tapeworm means these are the example, these are the completely they are parasites. So here first one are free living forms, they are called as turbularias. Trematodas either may be ecto or endoparasites. Example Fistula hepatica and schizostomata. And the Cestoda, these are completely endoparasites where you are having a Tinea solium or a tapeworms. Tinea solium. Here, sorry. Tinea solium. Example of the Cestoda Tinea solium. Tinea solium, that is we can call them as tapeworms. So these are the an example where they are taken place. For Cestoda example is Tinea solium, and Trematoda examples are Fistula hepatica, or we can call as liver fluke, or schizostomata or blood fluke. And last one is the turbularia. They are free living forms, example Panaria and Bipalium. So these are the three classes where they are differ based on the freeness and the parasitic nature. These are classified into three types. So this is the characteristic features of a phylum Platyhelminthes. So in a next class that we will discuss that is the second one, that is the pseudocoelomates. We can call them as an Asci helminthes.